He's an all-star, here to play a game by acclaim of the fans. If he's here, you know he's got to have talent, the ability to concentrate, the aggressiveness necessary to challenge an opponent. But if you ask him why he's here, he'll tell you there's only one reason: to win a game. The All-Star game may be only one game, but it's the game. If you lose here, it hurts. You have to wait all year to get even. It hurts your pride. Pride is something that can't be measured in salaries or statistics. And you don't pick it up overnight with the headlines of the morning newspaper. Pride comes with experience, the experience of winning. For the All-Stars, that recently has meant the National League. And that's because the same guys who won it before keep coming back to win it again. For 12 of the last 13 games, that's the way it's been. But when it all began, the shoe was on the other foot. Who could have more pride than a king? And if ever there was a king in this game, it had to be Babe Ruth. Back in 1933, in the very first All-Star game, Babe Ruth hit the home run that won it. That victory for the American League was one of 12 in the first 16 All-Star games. Not that the Babe was alone, because in those years, his league had a lot of names destined for the shrines of the Hall of Fame. Names like Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, Mickey Cochran, Lefty Grove, Charlie Gehringer, Bob Feller, Joe DiMaggio, and the fellow who just may have been the greatest hitter of all, Ted Williams. These are the names that made up the glory days of the American League All-Star teams. But no name is remembered better than that of the Babe. Lefty Gomez, with All-Star rival Carl Hubbell of the Giants, and who started and won more All-Star games than any pitcher, remembers his teammate Babe Ruth as the total All-Star.
Not only was he a great batter, but he was one of the best pitchers in the American League. He was a good base runner, even though he was a big man. Let's say Babe would steal 10 bases a year and you'd win 7 ball games. And he was an excellent outfielder. And being just a rookie, when I first started with Babe, I used to listen to the old-time sports writers talk that they never did see Babe throw the ball to a wrong base. And to me, that's one of the greatest compliments that can be paid to a man.
But it was the Babe's bat that made the legend. And when this year's All-Stars get a chance to actually hold that Louisville Slugger itself, the legend becomes even harder to believe.
This is Babe Ruth? It's amazing. Just to even hold something that Ruth used. Well, this is a little longer, but it's a thicker handle type I use, and I guess it's Ruth's bat, and it feels like a home run bat.
It's a little bit too big for me. I could cut it in half and use it twice.
Too much bat for me.
That is pure hitting surface there.
It's a piece of steel. No wonder you hit the ball out of the ballpark all the time. 32? How many? How many ounces?
42.
42. Okay, that's better. I don't think anybody's ever used a heavier bat than that, have they?
Any thoughts on him? Well, he must have been a hell of a man to swing a bat like this.
It's hard, too, boy. It's a good bat.
Yeah, all I know is this bat's a little too long, a little too heavy for me. He must have been quite a guy to be swinging a bat this big.
The name of Ruth and his bat may seem to come from another world, but baseball will always pass on its traditions like father to son. Captain Carol Chambliss of the U.S. Navy inspects the bat with his son Chris, who'll be making his first appearance on the American League All-Star team tonight right here in Philadelphia. That's one son making one proud father. And some sons proud of their daddies, like Brian McRae, son of Hal McRae, and Pete Rose Jr. They get a chance to play catch with the glove from the real old days of baseball. The glove fits the kids all right, but the ball players can't figure out how on earth it could have fit them old-timers. And one thing that hasn't changed for the Major League All-Stars is autographing the baseball. And pregame All-Star 76 is no exception. But how often do you see an All-Star asking for an autograph himself? Well, just about as often as the President of the United States stops into the clubhouse for a chat.
And the Dodgers are going to present you with a hat also. You know your head size. It varies how the polls go. Tom.
Hello, Mr.
Yes,
Ford.
Tom. How are
Nice to see
you? Good to see you.
Thank you. All I want to know is why when you came in, you went over to see Garvey in Michigan State before the USC guys.
Well,
Got something against the West Coast team?
no, well, they give us a hard time.
We try our best.
We'll catch up next year, though.
Carl Yastrzemski.
How are you, Carl? What up, ball player? Nice to see you.
President, tell him I'm a better hitter than he is.
I brought him up to...
You know, the only thing that bothers me is how much you bring on the Air Force One half hit him. He was a mediocre hitter. How can you associate him with him?
And I'm going to protect him against foul balls. What do you think of that?
Good to see you. How are you? What a minute. Thank you very much, fellas. Good luck to you.
We're getting close to game time at Philadelphia's Veterans Stadium. The U.S. Navy parades the colors in tribute to the 200th anniversary of our nation. On the mound for the National League is a pitcher who Casey Stengel would call a guy who throws a lot of ground balls. Sinker baller Randy Jones of the San Diego Padres, a 16-game winner at the All-Star break. Ron LaFleur of the Detroit Tigers leads off for the American League. And the Tigers figure they've got a superstar in this young man who put together a 30-game hitting streak. LaFleur hits it through the hole for a base hit in his very first All-Star at-bat. Here's a guy making his 10th All-Star appearance. Rod Carew of the Minnesota Twins, 4 times batting champion. Thurman Munson of the Yankees and George Brett of the Royals talk it over in the on-deck circle. Joe Morgan sets himself. Jones delivers. Carew swings. Bouncing ball to Morgan to Concepcion. 1 out over the first. Double play. A pitcher's best friend. George Brett, at the age of 23, currently leading the league in hitting, draws a base on balls, and that's unusual because Randy Jones tied a National League record this year, 68 consecutive innings without a walk. Munson hits one to Concepcion. They force Brett at second. End of the inning, no runs for the American League. Bottom of the first. And there he is. The newest baseball phenom, the Bird, who likes to straighten out the mound and have it his way. The Bird. Gotta be the hottest thing in baseball since Bat Day. Cincinnati's Pete Rose, now his league senior all-star, doesn't really care who's pitching. 21-year-old Mark Fidrich, rookie pitching sensation of the Tigers, says he's ready. Rose says anytime. Ball 1, and here is the Bird's personal trademark, talking to the baseball. He throws it. Look out. Base hit for Pete Rose. Mark Fidrich fidgets and checks Rose at first, while Steve Garvey, always a tough hitter in this game, waits for the pitch. He lines it to right. The lively artificial surface fools Rusty Staub as the ball goes to the wall. And here comes Pete Rose all the way around the score. Just like that, the National League takes the lead as Garvey stands at third with a triple. The Bird? Well, he's confused. He's also in trouble, and he knows it. Joe Morgan, who many consider the best player in baseball today, is the batter. Morgan hits one to right. Rusty Staub gets under it, and watch this throw. It comes all the way home, on the fly, to Thurman Munson. Bullseye. Garvey's got to be glad he stayed at third. Here's one newcomer to the National League lineup, George Foster, batting cleanup. The Bird delivers, and Foster grounds one to Bobby Grich, who makes the play at first. It's an RBI for Foster, a 2-run lead for the National League. It brings up the Bull, Greg Luzinski, last year's RBI champ. Luzinski gets under one and pops to Rod Carew at first for the last out. Watch the Bird take the express for the dugout. Lightning has struck Fidrich quickly, but for this young rookie, this is another part of what has been a long and somewhat unbelievable experience. First, a meeting with the press, where he finds himself the center of attention. All of it new and strange to Mark Fidrich, but he handles it the only way he knows how, by just being himself.
Something that I never thought I'd have in my life. And I never really get into baseball at all, and now I'm getting into baseball, and I never thought I would. Just getting all this stuff and I'm shaking. I'm tight. I don't know what to do. It's great though, and I'm happy to start it too. It's a thrill out of my life. I don't know what to do. I just hope I can win. That's all. But I never predict the future, so I'm just going to go out there. Whatever happens, happens. It's life.
And then a meeting with the groundskeepers to check out the pitching mound. Bird wants him to know he isn't looking to beat anyone out of a job. And after that, well, what else? We'll get together with the President of the United States.
You're throwing better than I do.
Meetings all day long, the kind that any normal American boy who talks to baseballs and leads the league in earned run average might expect. But the real challenge is the one on the mound against the strange faces of the National League lineup. Like the Bird says, you give them your best. That's life. It's all you can ever hope for. This might look like a strange bird in a strange land. Mark Fidrich gives his best. All over the diamond. Yes, sir, wherever the Bird may fly, he's always involved in the game. He keeps the American League in the game by getting Pete Rose to end a second-inning threat. His 2 innings are over, and everyone, fans, reporters, all-stars, and presidents, aren't likely to forget the Bird. Seldom has a player won so many hearts so quickly. Maybe that's because he makes no effort to control his colorful personality. But his counterpart, Randy Jones, earns respect from the batters because of his control, particularly control of a great sinker ball. Watch this. Like trying to hit a cork in a rainstorm with a toothpick. Rusty Staub singles in the second, but once that sinker ball is under control, Jones has the rest of the American League bouncing the ball to his infielders with the mechanical perfection of a fine Swiss watch. It gets to be frustrating for the American League hitters. But then the National League hitters have had to suffer the same all year. Games of work with just 2 hits and no runs, and Mr. Jones has done exactly what is normally expected of him. Nothing but ground balls. It's the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Joe Morgan, this year's top vote getter, is batting against New York Yankees Catfish Hunter, neither of whom is a stranger to the All-Star game. The Catfish delivers. Morgan slaps it just beyond the reach of Bobby Grich at second base. Foster leading the majors in RBIs. Swings, and away she goes. Deep to left center field. With all the speed of Ron LaFleur can't even get it. A two-run homer for George Foster. The American League gets the message that Foster's been putting up on the board all summer. You put someone on base, and he's going to drive him home. And now Tom Seaver comes in after Randy Jones to protect the lead in the fourth. Munson and his teammates are finally rid of Jones' sinker ball, but now they'll have to face Tom Seaver's fastball. And here it comes. Foul tip. Johnny Bench gets it. That catcher's mask helps disguise the pain on John's face, who's had to play in pain all year. You know, a catcher may look like he's wearing a lot of protection, but I tell you, some days he feels like a one-wall handball court. Munson knows the feeling, and Sparky Anderson, he's got to be worried about his superstar. Bench wants to hang in there. 1 out later, Fred Lynn is the batter. The first man ever to be named MVP in his rookie year. Seaver and Lynn, a study in concentration. Seaver fires. Lynn swings. Garvey watches. Goodbye, baseball. Way up into the mezzanine of Veterans Stadium. The first all-star home run for Fred Lynn. And there's no telling how many more may come from the bat of this talented young man. Lynn is maintaining a Boston tradition. First, Ted Williams, and then Carl Yastrzemski were outstanding during their all-star careers. And now, Fred Lynn comes along to keep it going. Bottom of the fifth, 4-1, National League leading, and manager Darrell Johnson makes a pitching change.
Bob is out of the game, and the pitcher will go in his spot, which is Tian.
From the Boston Red Sox, Luis Tian.
Rivers stays in the game, batting in the ninth spot, right?
One of the nice things about an all-star game is that it gives fans a chance to watch stars from the other league. And the only person on earth who doesn't like to watch Luis Tian pitch is the guy who has to bat against him. Tian twists, pitches, Rose hits it. Tian watches it bounce to the wall. Lynn relays to Grich, who fires to the third, but not in time to catch a diving Pete Rose. Watch it again. Is he out? Is he safe? Is he coming down? Pete Rose.
Charlie Hustle.
Tian checks Rose at third, and he's set to throw to Garvey. Brett, fine pickup. Fires to first, gets Garvey, and now Maestro Tian with his own now you see it, now you don't routine. First, the three-quarter delivery. Next, the sidearm. Now, all the way over the top. And Rose, well, he stays at third. The triple is the only hit Tian will allow in 2 innings. Manager Darrell Johnson pinch hits Minnesota's Butch Weiniger, who at the age of 19 is the youngest man ever to play in an all-star game. Montefiore of the San Francisco Giants on the mound against Weiniger. Rare to see a 19-year-old in spring training, much less an all-star game. Draws a base on balls. Weiniger is on. Perez motions halfway. Montefiore, pitching in his second inning of hitless ball, strikes out Phil Garner. And there it is. Montefiore has done the job. No hits, no runs in 2 innings. Manager Sparky Anderson makes some changes. And now it's young Rick Rhoden to take over for the count in the top of the 8th. Rhoden, another find in a line of great Dodger pitchers. The American League is down, but not yet ready to give up. And those feet belong to Mickey Rivers. He chops one. Roden fires to first. No way. Watch it again. Rivers, who uses first base as a pit stop, I tell you, he can really make those feet fly. And now Roden has a tough job of trying to keep those feet close to first. Roden checks him. Rivers looks at him and says, I may not be here when you throw next time. Yastrzemski hits it. Cash to Russell. Double play. But watch Rivers. He did everything he could to break up the double play. Look at Russell leave the scene before the accident. What a way to deliver an autograph. This game may be almost over, but baseball doesn't get more aggressive than this. National League 5, American League 1, 8th inning. Cesar Cedeno of the Houston Astros, another steady visitor to all-star games. And he digs in at the plate. And there is California's Frank Tanana. Has his sign. Cedeno cranks that bat up. He waits in a hurry. Tanana delivers, and there it is. A long shot to left field. It's gone. A two-run homer. Here it is again. Yastrzemski races back to the wall and just watches it disappear. Griffey comes in to score. And now Cedeno. The home run has made it 7-1. And the face of Carl Yastrzemski says it all for the American League. You guys can't believe it. Like he's trying to figure out a way he could have gotten through that fence to make the catch. He can't believe it. Houston's Ken Forsch comes in to wrap it up for the National League. He gets 2 quick outs and then strike 1 to Amos Otis. Strike 2. There's strike 3, and that's the ball game. As the National League is the proud owner of another victory. The big bat of George Foster, good for a home run and 3 RBIs, earns him the game's MVP. The National League keeps its winning streak rolling, while the American League will have to wait till next year.